So, funny enough, this is a review about a teleprompter which is kind of predestined to be used right now. But for this intro, I'm not going to, because I'm just psyched about this thing and I kind of want to convey that, so I'm doing this kind of from the hip. So, if you're doing any kind of talking head scenario for YouTube or for client work or wherever really, and you've not used a teleprompter so far, you probably most likely are used to a lot of frustration. Talent gets more frustrated by the minute, you get more frustrated by the minute, everybody gets more frustrated by the minute. Why is that? Because usually as soon as you put people in front of a camera and have them talk into it and tell them, please convey this information precisely, completely, and in the right order, it's game over. Even skilled communicators have a really hard time talking into a camera lens. And that is because usually when people get into talking and communicating with other people, everything about them moves. Look at me right now, I'm sitting down, I'm still moving. Their bodies move, their arms move, they're gesturing, their head moves, their eyes move. Everything moves. So as soon as you lock them down, because they can't walk in and out of frame, and they more often than not have to fixate the camera lens, so their head and their eyes are moving way less than they're used to, they just can't freaking do it. Some can, but they are the absolute exception. So, talking heads become a drag. The edit, which should be super easy, becomes a drag because all your takes are incoherent, imprecise, or incomplete. A teleprompter is going to change that radically. So, even if someone tells you they can absolutely convey any information in a professional manner, at any time, in any situation, have them write a script. If they don't want to write a script, have them record themselves while they talk, turn that into a script, bring the script, bring a teleprompter. In case there are a 1 in a million, one-take wonder, excellent. Most likely they're not, so everybody is going to be happy if you have a teleprompter. It's going to make everybody's day way easier, just way better. In case of a teleprompter, really just go all out Nike, just freaking do it. So, if you're looking for one, you might as well check out this one, because it's awesome and it doesn't break the bank. Alright, starting to use the teleprompter. Coincidentally, the very first teleprompter I ever used was the Desview T1. It is for smartphones only and it is attached to the camera lens directly. Ingenious design for super tiny setups. From the initial T1 to now the T12, and the list goes on by the way, all the way up to T22, tremendous changes have been taking place. First of all, you don't attach the prompter to the camera, you now attach the camera to the prompter. The T12 is a standalone prompter. You can attach smartphones and tablets, whereas tablets really make more sense given the size of the beam splitter glass. It is lightweight, easy to set up, easy to use, and can accommodate even a 20mm full-frame lens, which is what you're looking at right now, and which is awesome considering its size. But before I start raving about the unit, let's check out some question marks that might be important to you. The hood attaches to the frame by a sturdy, very good quality Velcro. The Velcro is sewn onto the hood, but glued onto the frame of the beam splitter glass. Because it is very good Velcro, it does take some force to detach it. The Velcro on the frame looks to be glued on precisely and overall very well, but I'm not sure it will stay that way forever. Maybe in the future, after a lot of use, you will have to make this a little DIY project and use some hot glue or something to reattach the glued on Velcro to the frame here and there at least. Since this is not a long-term review, I actually don't know whether that is ever going to happen. If you use a rig on your camera like myself, I have attached these rods for example. Unfortunately, the riser, even in its lowest possible position, will have my camera sit too high to fit the hood's cutout for the lens. If you're using a regular sized DSLR or DSLM, an L bracket isn't going to be a problem, a regular cage isn't as well. But anything that adds more height than that is likely to get you into a little trouble. So my FX3 in its current configuration is not compatible with the T12. Without rods, obviously it would be, so that is all on me. However, my S3 with just its cage fits perfectly right away. The riser itself has some play in any position except the lowest one, as you can see here. The single screw that acts as the clamping mechanism to keep the riser at a certain height does a good job, although two of those would be better, I suppose. The connection is still tight enough so the camera setup shouldn't tilt on its own during shooting. Unless you're using a setup way bigger than what is intended for this T12 teleprompter. The clamping mechanism for the tablet or smartphone is spring-loaded and its parts are made of plastic. Therefore, it is very lightweight, easy to use and quick to set up. However, if the plastic should crack or break, for example, due to someone mistreating your wonderful equipment, which does happen, or just by accident, the mechanism is done for. I myself would prefer metal parts and a mechanism that is not spring-loaded. However, lightweight and fast use might as well be more important for what you do. Just letting you know. If these question marks are important to you, definitely also check out the TP150. It's a bigger, better, and of course, more expensive version of the T12. I am personally also looking into the TP150 because of the size of rigs I want to use a teleprompter with. So if the T12 has not quite your name written on it, the TP150 just might. Before, however, you stop watching, at least give me a chance to rave some about the T12. First of all, it comes with its own dedicated bag for transport. Now, it is not a hard shell case, but it is much better than nothing at all. I would not store it in the back of my car with all my hard shell cases, but considering the low price of this unit, I very much appreciate the transport bag. To put it into the bag, you have to take the hood and riser off first and then tilt the beam splitter glass backwards using the foam sheet that came with the unit to protect the glass from the base for the riser. And that's it. Close the bag and get going. The bag itself has a hard foam inlay for the parts, which is much appreciated and way better than the soft foam variants that are out there. It is, I have to say, very well put together. It is just a soft shell for the hard foam inlay, but it is really nicely manufactured. It's just true. Speaking of taking the T12 apart. Now there are options out there, more expensive, that give you less viewing angle that are faster to set up. Then again, using a comfortable pace, you will still be up and running within approximately 2 minutes. Given that your camera is ready to shoot, that is. Setup time is absolutely okay in my opinion. The whole teleprompter is sturdy, it feels solid when in position, there are no wiggly parts, nothing seems more loose than it should be. With one exception, that is, the riser that has some play, technically. But you can fasten the screw to where that again should not be a problem, if you're using setups of a size that are meant to be used with the T12. Basically, you set it up and you don't have to worry about it after that, which is how it should be. One of the most important, if not the most important part of a teleprompter is the beam splitter glass itself. This one's very good. No vignetting, no distortion, virtually no color cast. Things you have to take into consideration when putting glass in front of your lens, but that you don't have to worry about with the T12. Nicely done. Now the hood attaches to the frame of the beam splitter glass via Velcro, so I definitely had to test how light-proof this is. And it is actually light-proof. I taped up the front of the teleprompter and then I used a COB LED light to test how light-proof the whole contraption was using Velcro. And to my surprise, it is actually really light-proof. I didn't think that was gonna happen, so hey, big surprise, but I like it. The fabric donut, let's call it, attaches to the lens via strings on a clamp on each side. It is easy, it is fast, it accommodates just about every lens. Now about that wide-angle shot. You can use this unit for teleprompting all the way down to 20mm on full frame, which is crazy wide for a corporate talking head, not for a YouTube talking head though, or more than one person. As far as I'm concerned, that's great. I freaking love that you can go this wide. Operation is also super simple. Once you have your script, you download the app. Both iOS and Android versions are available. Copy the text of your script into the app, select your colors, your font size, and your scrolling speed, and that's it. As all people are different though, you will have to dial that in a little with each person to fit their eyesight and pace of talking. And you can do that standing next to them, so you both know what you're talking about, because the T12 comes with a remote control. Seems like a pretty generic part, but it works. It takes 2 AAA batteries and connects via Bluetooth. You can start, stop, speed up, slow down, and jump pages forward and backwards. So once you're dialed in, this makes it really easy to direct the talent. The remote control looks and feels a little flimsy, but my T1 has the exact same one and it still functions after roughly 5 years. So sometimes simple is good. The QR plate attached to the riser also seems rather generic, but does its job well, taking Arca Swiss standard QR plates. And if I remove this tiny screw right here, even my, let's say, unorthodox DJI Ronin QR plate does fit. Other than that, you're also getting a vertical mounting bracket. Now, this vertical mounting bracket didn't even work with my Sony a7S III having attached my 8-sin cage, because even with just the cage, it made the camera sit too high. An L bracket will still work, and of course, much smaller APS-C size cameras will also work. For the price, you really can't beat this thing. It is lightweight, easy to transport, easy to set up, easy to operate, and it does not break the bank. There's a few things I would like to be solved differently, but definitely nothing to complain about given the feature set, quality, and price of this unit. So, to start wrapping this up, if you're doing interviews, corporate or not, talking heads of any kind, where you have to get information across to an audience that is complete, precisely formulated, and in the right order, nothing will have a bigger positive impact on the workflow of your production than a good teleprompter setup. 99 times out of 100, everybody's day gets easier when you bring one. And the T12 is a great budget option for that purpose. So, if you liked the video, if you found it helpful, please make sure to leave a thumbs up. It is greatly appreciated. Any kind of comment or feedback is welcome, and I'll try to answer as quickly as possible. All the tech I've used is linked in the description. As always, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.